What is up, my dude and dudettes, and welcome back to TellerTube. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the subreddit r/Maliciouscompliance. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. With that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. No sick days allowed? Okay. So I worked in a bike shop for 8 years, and it was a brilliant and awful job. Awful being that I hated my boss. Proper dink when it came to your well-being. If you were sick, he'd drive to your house and knock on your door, and try to convince you to come to work. This was mainly because he wanted to leave early in the afternoon to do paperwork and couldn't leave the other staff members on their own. There was only 3 of us, including the manager. I gave into this bullying for years. Coming to work, throwing up out the back door while selling a bike was one of my personal favorites. Especially when the customer expressed his worry to my manager and got laughed off. Let's call my manager Asshat. Anyway, one December, the virus was going around, everyone was getting it. Obviously, dealing with hundreds of customers a week, I was bound to get it. I got it, and I got it bad. I ended up bedridden on my day off and text Asshat that I wouldn't be in tomorrow, as I need to go to the doctor's. Phone starts ringing off the hook, messages left, right, and center. Then, the knocking at my door. I couldn't answer it as I could barely walk down the stairs to do so. He was there for a good 20 minutes before he finally gave up. He messaged me later on that night saying if I didn't come in then I'd lose a day's pay, because I was on a part-time contract at the time but was working full-time hours. Then it hit me. I can really screw him over here. I didn't need the money at the time as I worked in a pub at night as well, which topped my wages up quite generously. So I messaged him back, no problem, I'll go on to my contracted hours. See you in 2 days when my shift starts again. All I get back from Asshat was, haha, okay. I came in 2 days later still in an awful condition but able to get on with some work while coughing my lungs up. Asshat starts reeling off the Christmas orders. Now, for a bike shop, it's a military operation of booking so many bikes in a day to build and be collected. You'd get 10 to 12 bikes in to build for the next day. Then make sure today's bikes were picked up or moved back into storage. That alone is a full day's job, on top of selling bikes and parts, etc. We also did car auto parts, bulbs, and batteries. So in the winter, you can imagine how many of those we were changing on top. So you'll build around 220 to 270 bikes in December alone just for Christmas, on top of any other sale you might get on the day. So roll on my first day back, get my bikes built, get customers served, all sorted. This was the Wednesday, so I tell Asshat that I'll see him Friday as that was my next contracted day.
Say what? No, you'll be in here tomorrow. Got a lot on this month.
No, I'm part-time. I won't be in. Contract says so.
Stop being daft. Get your arse in tomorrow.
Sure enough, I don't turn in. Come Christmas Eve, it's the biggest freaking mess you've ever seen. Bikes everywhere, no one collecting them, and those who are, their bikes haven't been built. Worst Christmas ever recorded in that shop. No one was paying for bikes because they couldn't collect them due to not being built, or they're in storage 15 minutes away that Asshat can't get out of the shop to go grab them for the customer. So guess who got handed a lovely, shiny full-time contract with sick days, a higher wage, and an apology on New Year's Eve. I was there another year and I never got bugged for taking a sick day again. Well boss, if we're following the contract, I don't have to come in tomorrow. I can't get a refund on my escape room? Okay, let me reschedule then. Okay, some context. I own an escape room company in a town which borders a pretty touristy area and is very close to an airport. As such, we tend to get a lot of bookings from people all over the UK who are visiting the area for the weekend, or international people coming to do an escape room on the way to the airport. We only take online bookings and don't take walk-ins, therefore the site is only really manned whenever we have bookings. As such, our cancellation policy is that we only allow refunds if the cancellation is more than 24 hours before the scheduled start time. If it is 2 to 24 hours before the start time, we can only reschedule the booking. Now, it's worth mentioning that for the majority of cases, weekdays, we are pretty relaxed with our policy as long as it doesn't cause any big issues, and try our best to accommodate a group as usually I am the one hosting them so there's not any additional expenses on our part. Example, staff wages, loss of income from other potential customers. However, the only day where this policy is really relevant is on Saturday, where we are almost always entirely booked from morning to night and have staff members working for us. So any cancellation slots would most likely have to be filled by other customers, and we are of course still paying our staff for that time. Although I must say we have only ever had to enforce this policy a couple of times, as we usually accommodate a group in some shape or form. Now on to the malicious compliance. So I get a call earlier today from a gentleman with a thick Scottish accent that was scheduled to come in with his group in around 2.5 hours from the time of the call. The group said that they were unable to make their booking as they were running late with some other activities or something like that, and asked to reschedule the booking for a later slot. I checked our schedule but didn't have any slots left for today in any of our rooms. He then asked for a refund as they would be returning back to Glasgow tonight and didn't know when they would be next down here. I told him our policy and that our system only allows reschedules instead of refunds due to the time frame, and explained that given it's a Saturday, we can't refund so close to the time as staff has been arranged. Slot would have been booked, etc, etc. Rescheduling wouldn't have worked for them as they wouldn't be in the area anytime soon. After a short pause, he asked if we had any free slots to schedule for next month. I checked the system and offered to move the booking to the same time on 16th November, to which he said,
Yeah, I think that works.
I changed the time on the system and informed him he would get an email confirming the new time slot. He replied,
Great, so the booking is more than 24 hours away, right?
Yes, it's booked in 4 weeks' time from today. He goes,
Right, so the booking is more than 24 hours away. I won't be able to make it. Can I have a refund?
I paused for a second, trying to process what had just happened in my head, and I realized that he had found a loophole in the system. Technically, his booking is more than 24 hours away, so he is technically entitled to a refund. I started laughing and congratulated him on beating the system as I processed his refund. Wow, what a genius. Just fully finessed the system. Just get the sauce. Obligatory, this was the turn of the century. I was 17 and worked as a silver service waiter in the corporate boxes at a stadium for a Premier League football team who have a reputation for having mostly out-of-town fans. As a silver service waiter, your job was to make sure the box was clean for whoever was using it that day, make sure the fridges were stocked with refreshments, serve dinner after the game depending on kickoff time, and make tea and coffee during. When you weren't required, you stood outside the box until the attention light outside the door lit up. I wasn't very good at my job. I frequently forgot things, but my patter with the customers usually saw me through. One day, I was working on the box owned by a major refuse collection company, and the occupants that day were 4 of their high-level management from Scotland. 3 of them were nice enough blokes, but one of them was definitely the arsehole of the group. I supported an opposing team, and he jokingly derided me about it. Until I was so unfunny, I just started ignoring him, and while everyone else would help themselves to beer and tea, he demanded that I did it. After the match, it was time to serve dinner. I can't remember what the starter was, but the main was roast beef with mash and veg, and dessert was profiterole rolls with chocolate sauce. I dished everything out and went to get the gravy, but because I was so damn slow, there was none left. When I went back to tell the box, they were all fine with it except arsehole. Arsehole.
This is ridiculous. Go and get me some sauce.
I'll see what I can do, but they're definitely out of gravy.
Just get the sauce.
I went into the kitchen and asked the chef dutifully for some sauce. He looked confused and told me we were out of gravy. He doesn't want gravy, he wants some sauce. The chef poured me a ladle of the sauce into a gravy boat and handed it to me. Chef goes, "Are they having dessert already?" No. I left the kitchen, re-entered my box, and put the gravy boat in front of arsehole. "I managed to get you some sauce." Then I left and waited. 30 seconds later, I hear a loud expletive and see the attention light is lit. I walk in to find arsehole red-faced.
It's freaking chocolate.
Oh my. Yes, for the profiterole rolls. Oh, you didn't put it on your dinner, did you? He had.
Get me another one.
At this stage, there were no dinners left as the staff had eaten them all, so he had to make do with the sandwich while his friends laughed at him. I can't remember whether he had dessert or not. Oh my goodness. That is great. Well, technically, he already had dessert because he had some of the chocolate sauce. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that like button as it would really help me out. Subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with my latest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.